Hello, my friends, and welcome to another session with the older man. Today, I want to hit on a very ticklish subject, and it's simply this. Is it time for modern women to start looking at sharing men? And I say this because, hey, remember this warning?
We are only attracted to 20% of men, okay? I can't change that. I can't change the fact that half of women, by 2030, this is 6 years away, half of women are gonna be single and childless. This was a study done by bankers, not people that have a political agenda. So if you're married, women are gonna be fighting for whoever you got. They're gonna be, and women already do that. Women want to be, you know, I always say though, if we banned side chicks, if we made it illegal or something, the first people that would complain are women. There are women that go to NBA games trying to get men to cheat on their wives. This is, if you have a guy that other women like, that's just what it's gonna be. And, you know, I didn't make that world. This was the fault of our grandmothers and great-grandmothers. I didn't do it. 1 out of 3 men under 30 haven't had sex in the past year. What does that mean? Women are sharing men. And you see it like preemptively, because what do we have? We have situationships. What is that? Sharing a guy. So it's like I didn't create this world. I'm just telling people what's gonna happen. This is happening. It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Oh, it's out in the open. Oh, trust me, it is out in the open. Mainstream media really don't want to touch on it. The whole feminist agenda, they're not going to tell you about anything that have screwed up this whole model, because they have to retain this idea that this whole idea of pushing women, getting them to the top, is a good thing for society. And listen, I'm not saying it's not a good thing when we push women to the top. The problem is, what happens when those women reach the top and their normal, natural, hypergamous nature kicks in? That is where the problem is. We have to re-educate female brain to make them understand, if you want the top position, but yet you want a dominant man, that is a conundrum. That is a problem, because those two things can't exist at the same time. You cannot want dominance, but yet want a dominant man. That just don't make sense. So what we're seeing is not necessarily that women are escalating to the point where the large majority of you are becoming boss babes. You're just becoming workers with a degree, and usually senseless degrees. You're just becoming much higher consumers based on the amount of borrowing that you do. So you just have a lot more debt. And all of these traits are making you much, much less desirable, because men are much more capable of controlling his spending and controlling his debt. Yes, you all will talk about the minority that's doing the stupid things, but the large majority of men are very careful. That's why you call him Broken Dusty, because he don't want to spend his money on you. It's not like he don't have money. He just understands that spending it on you is a waste of time. It's a bad investment. But I digress a bit. Listen, give me a thumbs up on this message, guys, before we get into this, okay? So what I want to do is to examine this particular lady here. She is spelling it out in no simple terms, my friend. She's out there with it.
It's convenient for me to date a married man. Very convenient. I don't think I'm destroying anybody's home because their husband is my supposed boyfriend. That's not my business. You meet married men that 6 months, 3 months, they don't have sex at home. But they want to every day. They come to their girlfriend's house. They want, as they enter, they want just they do. But at home, there is nothing. So how you go? So that's my fault, that you're not having fun at home, and that you can have that fun with me 1,000,000 times in a day if you so wish. You will always come to me.
Once the man is married,
Yes.
he should be out of bounds.
For who?
How is it your
Life
fault?
is preference, right? I like to date married men. You cannot date married men. Let me do what works for me. Primary thing that keeps that man coming back is not anything else.
Yes, there are many, many, many women out there that think like her. If the man can provide what she wants, which is resources, money, energy, attention, and time, all she needs is a little bit of that in order to survive, to supplement her income. She's happy being the side chick. She's happy being the person in the situationship. because more than likely she can't find a man that would want her. Because the possibility of finding a man in that top 10, 20% is slim to none. She would prefer to share that man with his wife. And listen, this is how it's been since the beginning of time. It's nothing new, it's nothing different. The wealthiest man, the man with the most resources, have always been the men who have had multiple wives, multiple concubines, lovers. That's how it's always been. We shouldn't be shocked in today's modern society because, listen, nothing really have changed. Women will always accept being in second next to the wife. And she does her job as being the pleaser, the woman who gives him pleasure. Call that whatever you want. That's her role. Because otherwise, the man has no use for her. The man doesn't want a second woman like his wife. He needs something different. Okay, now we're going to read some of the comments from this lady's rant because you know you're going to get some feedback from this. Black Widow Booby says, I understand this to be honest. There's a married man in my inbox. He's miserable with his wife, but knows she won't allow him to be the father he has always been to his children. I've met his wife. She's an aggressive drunk who doesn't appreciate her hard-working man. There are women like us waiting who don't want the huge commitment, that are willing to take care of men who haven't had their needs met. I haven't done anything with him yet, but I'm very attracted and highly considering it. Tons of women out there that is quite willing to take that position. I have met many of them. I Am Barbie K said, can we bring back shame and decorum? Like, what the F? Black Widow, she responded to all the people. I do not want to be married. Sharing my space isn't in my plans. I'm not nor never been the marrying type. Marriage also isn't something I believe in. So yeah, there are some women that just don't believe in marriage and they're quite prepared to play the side chick, to be the other woman. Someone responded to her, serious question, what about morality? People have different opinions on morality, but that's a whole other philosophical discussion. Rose CEO said, she said she loves married men. Yeah, ladies still blaming men. Listen, it takes two to tango. This idea that men are the bad ones, etc., is just old and worn out. And if we look at the situation when it comes to relationships, it takes two people. Two people are responsible. But women have blamed men for decades. But women have always blamed men because they always have to maintain the position of being morally justified, to being the angelic one. They always have to paint the picture that they are the purest ones between the two sexes and genders. Never has been that way. Let's listen to this other lady now. Woman thinks women need to get back to making men beg again. Believe they are the prize. Oh, Jesus. All right, here we go.
I feel like we are not making the men beg as much as we need to. I am the win here. Like, you need to be chasing me.
Now she goes on to say that women are the prize, and she's sick of seeing girls chasing men. Men should work to get them because they are the prize. A man will be lucky to get one of them. So let me help this young lady out. The reason men no longer chase is because of women. Now let me explain that to you. In 2024, women want the top 10% of men. And I keep telling y'all, those men are not going to chase you. But there are men out there who will chase you. They are in the bottom 10% of men. Those men are chasing women every day. They just get ignored. Then you have that group between 10% and 90%, regular everyday men. But those men are not chasing. See, those men between 10 and 90%, they realize that most of the women that want to be chased ain't worth chasing. They've learned their lesson. So they just go about their life. If they meet a girl, they meet a girl. If they don't, they don't. So now the only group of men you have to chase you are the bottom 10% of men. Y'all don't want them. So this is why you and other women feel like men don't chase anymore, because the men that y'all want don't chase you. So if you want a man to chase you, go to the bottom 10%. If you want a man to approach you and you guys both invest in each other, you stay in that 10 to 90% range. If you want a man that you have to chase, you go for the 10% man. I hope this helps, but I know you women don't listen, so it doesn't matter. But it is what it is.
Ooh, this brother just made it so clear. And what he has to add, the reason why the middle, which is where the large majority of men and women sit, but for some reason women think that they are above that because they wear their costume. They got their weaves and their freaking lashes and their BBLs and their tits, and everything is just blown out of proportion. Every woman look cookie cutter of the other woman these days. No one is natural. But because they have adorned themselves, they have created the illusion that they're better than men. They think that they deserve the top 10%. And those men are not chasing you, like he said. Those are the men that have choices upon choices. Women run to these men. Women share these men. That's the difference, ladies. So as long as you understand the formula, you have to realize what position you're in. And more than likely, you're in that 11 to 90% range. That's where you are. That means find a man you can agree with. But because of the whole Me Too and leave me alone and I prefer the bear and all of this other crap, I don't need a man, all of those things, those men no longer look for you. They're not chasing you. You got to approach those men now. Men used to love chasing women, but you all screwed that up. And even if it wasn't the large majority of you that started this crap, you made those loud voices come out and you did not freaking stop them. Those were the voices that were heard. Men heard you and did exactly what you requested because you then had the law behind you. You said, hey, I'm going to bring the law in if you don't do what I tell you. Leave me alone. Now, this was a talk show that really brought it home when it comes to dominance. This is what women have to understand right here.
That is a blockage to this world. People don't understand, bro.
When we say peace to the saints, it's not a recommendation, it's an order. When we say peace to the saints and you say peace to the saints, everyone stops talking.
Okay.
The amazing thing is the woman is supposed to be the follower. If I have a room full of men and they're talking and I say peace to the saints, they stop talking. I have a room full of women, they keep babbling. How many of you are stronger than me? None of you. In that room full of men, some of them may be stronger than me, but they still stop talking. It's called respect. Why we would even have to escalate to this level is not necessary. When she speaks of her father, that's called authority. She said, I didn't do X, Y, and Z because of my father. I asked you, I said, if your father was there and he was like me, would he do it? You didn't even answer the actual question. You said, well, my dad. I was talking about me. The listening skills are consistently not there. Here's the irony. The female is supposed to be better at listening than the male. Men are turned in on themselves. You're supposed to have a baby and care about the baby more than anyone. Men run off on the baby. You always stay there. How can you not listen? And this isn't for me to touch, for you to hear each other. We got time. So when we say peace to the saints, you respond peace to the saints and stop talking.
You see, when a man stands up and raises his voice, everybody shut up. That, my friends, is what masculinity is. Taking control. If you put a bunch of women in charge, this is what we get. Chaos. Absolute chaos. That's why it's important for men to be out front in all things. Ladies, it's not like you're useless. It's just that you're there to help him. Because sometimes he don't have eyes in the back of his head. Sometimes you see things different than he does. That's why he needs you to assist him. That's how you grow together. But for Christ's sake, let the man lead. Otherwise, you're going to lead him into a disaster because you all are too emotional. I know you're going to come back at me with this whole, but it's tiring. But if you're not getting the results that you want, you better listen to the men. Otherwise, feel free. Buy a dog, cat, 2, 3, 4 cat. Die alone. It's not that difficult. Okay? So my friends, listen. Please give me a thumbs up on this message. Subscribe if you haven't already. And on your way out, check out askanolderman.com. Book a session with your older man so that he could mentor you, so that he can help you with any situation that you may have. Whether it's your marriage, whether it's your YouTube channel, whether it's your business and career decision, whatever it is, you need a voice, you need someone to listen, I'm here for you. So until next time, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.